looking at this new article that's out from Science Daily, and it's about something they're calling MAD, Model Autophagy Disorder. Wow, that sounds a little ominous, comparing the way Gen AI consumes data to what happened with mad cow syndrome, where cows got sick from contaminated cattle feed. You are what you eat, and data is the problem they're looking at, specifically synthetic data. Now, we're talking about generative AI, like DALL-E, Stable Diffusion, all these tools that create these really cool images. But one thing that people don't always think about is how much data these systems need. So one of the things that people have proposed is, what if we use synthetic data? Like data that's created artificially, and that seems like a good solution on the surface, right? Because it's cheap, it's plentiful, you don't have to worry about privacy concerns. It gets a little complicated, but this whole idea of self-consuming loops emerge. It creates AI and then creates content from the AI. This is where the mess is happening. So it's basically the idea that you have an AI system and it's being trained on data that was made by another AI system, and it creates this feedback loop where if there are any quirks or errors in that original data and it's passed down, it just gets amplified. So it's kind of like, have you ever played like telephone tag, whispering in one person's ear, they pass the message on to the other person and it changes at the end? It's kind of like that with AI, where if we rely too much on synthetic data, you start to get these weird effects and the information can get corrupted. And researchers are already kind of seeing this happen with image-based AI, where you get these loops that lead to these really strange results, like faces being distorted or text getting all jumbled up. So it's a really very important issue. And this article from Science Daily, they talk about the study from Rice University. They basically wanted to see what would happen if you put an AI on an all AI diet. Like what happens when it's just eating its own mail? So they created these 3 different scenarios or loops to see what would happen, with reliance on AI data. So one loop was completely synthetic, no outside information. Then another loop had a mix, like real data and some AI, real meaning they got it from real content created by human beings. Those systems were stuck in that loop of just synthetic data. The output started to degrade really rapidly. We rely on the internet for everything these days, how we get our news, how we learn about things, how we connect with each other. So what happens when all that information, like the whole ecosystem, is full of stuff that's been distorted and messed up by AI? If we're not careful, we're going to end up with an internet where you can't even tell what's real anymore. It's a little creepy when you think about it. If AI is going to be shaping the internet more and more as we go forward, who gets to decide what it's learning from? It's more important than ever to think critically about what we're seeing online.